Greetings, and I am back on the scene again with dating and my wigs, and I have so much tea to spill. It's been 4 months of dating the Irishman, and we are now broken up officially. So I broke up with him. I found out he was cheating on me with his ex-girlfriend that he had broken up with, let's see now, I think around, if I'm accurate, like October of last year, and they went out for 4 months also. So I guess that's the trajectory, 4 months. He lied to me and cheated because he was supposed to delete her stuff and block her because she was texting him and calling him on Valentine's Day when we were out celebrating our relationship. So there were a lot of bumps in the road, but I was determined to try to make this work. So what I did was I made sure that essentially I was in my feminine energy. And even though I saw some narcissism emerging, I mean, I'm a shrink, I should know, I would see a lot of hot and cold. Like he would text me like, hi, beautiful, are you sleeping? And I would say, no, I just got up. And then he wouldn't answer because he wanted me to double text him. So it was kind of like a lot of mind games going on here. Or I would text him, yeah, I just had the headlight changed in my car. He says, oh, I would have done it for you. And I said, oh, well, that's okay. I did it with some local guy. And then he says, oh, I will help you with some other projects. And I said, okay. And then he never answered. So there would always be this like ping pong game with the texting, and he would just drop the ball right in the middle of the convo because he wanted me to keep chasing and double texting. And guess what I did, ladies? Nothing. So I used to just let the thing just die. And then he wouldn't text me for 2 days because he wanted me to text him. And I just said, I'm not doing it. And eventually, like maybe 2 or 3 days would pass. And then he would definitely text me, which sometimes I just gave up on him. And I just said, all right, maybe he's not going to text me anymore. And that's it. And I just wouldn't text him. And it would drive him crazy. It would drive him absolutely crazy that he could never get one up on me. Well, I saw the behavior and I was trying to talk to him about it when I saw him in person, because I thought I would have a little bit more of communicative skills. But no matter what I did, he'd be good for like 2 days texting, and then, that was it. No phone calls, because he can't get off the phone. He'll tell me his whole life story, so I couldn't get into that. He would just, like, basically, he's like this energy vampire that kind of just sucks the whole life out of me. So that was just becoming so draining. And then one day I found out that he's been lying about his finances, and he was crying poverty. Like all of a sudden he had all this money. Oh, you're worth it. Don't worry about it. Everything is fine and dandy. And then all of a sudden, after we had sex, interesting timing there, all of a sudden he was becoming cheap. Like it was overnight. Like we had sex on Monday, he got cheap on Tuesday. It was like an amazing metamorphosis. So of course, your girl here, that did not sit well with me. And I just said, listen, if you're broke, you need to make more money. You're 59 years old. Go get a job. I mean, what do you want from me? So I said, it's just not going to work for me like this. And he was like, oh, all right, I won't mention it again. But mention it, he did. He started to like look at everything I was doing. I got you this club soda and you didn't finish it. And I hate to see things go to waste. So I have to finish the club soda then. And I was like picking up on these little things that he would just drop, these little bombs, these little like critical bombs. And I would always just look at him like, what are you talking about? Like, seriously, like, what is wrong with you? So that game didn't work on me. So he was like so like mystified as to how he was going to get me to fall in love with him and acquiesce to his control. Now, unbeknownst to me, he continued to text his ex-girlfriend, who was absolutely crazy about him. And interestingly enough, he felt the compulsion to actually disclose to me about this woman and her existence. Now, if I was a guy, I wouldn't mention this at all. But he did, because he wanted me to know as a narcissist that this woman is absolutely crazy about him. So I should be jealous. So then he has 2 women going crazy out over him, and maybe even a third that nobody knows about, not woman A or woman B. So I said to him, listen, you have to set in a boundary. What do you think needs to happen? And he goes, no, I'm gonna delete her. I'm gonna delete her. I am. Because I gave her 60, like he counted orgasms, and I really, was never really into her. I didn't feel anything, and I said, you didn't feel anything? Okay. He doesn't get rid of her. And of course, my ex-husband, the NYPD detective, tells me how to go find things on the Irish's phone. So I find, and I warned him, I said, I wonder why you're on WhatsApp at 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I couldn't sleep. So I gave him a heads up that I was going to be looking in his WhatsApp just by asking him. So you think he would know enough to now, oh my God, I better delete. We'll call her Mark. And the reason we'll call her Mark is because he hid her real name, her female name, under a male name, Mark. Okay, now of course, the detective, my ex, the OG, original gangster, told me, go look under all the names. She could be under an assumed name, whoever she could be. I didn't know who the she was at the time, but I knew a she existed. Why? Because I just knew. Too many times he disappeared. He'd go off the grid. Which time I forgot my phone. I forgot this. I forgot that. You're 59 years old. Take a memory boost. I don't know what to tell you. You got no job. What do you have to remember? Alrighty. That brings us to my discovering that there was about 5,000 texts from this woman. I love you. I love you. I love you. I want you back. I love you. And this was all behind my back. And he would actually mention me and say, I have to see my girlfriend now. Please don't text me anymore. Like, just to give her a dig. Like, really mean. And then sending her photos of us together so she can eat her heart out. That's cruel. You know, that's cruel. Oh, and she would say, you don't look really happy. I mean, terrible. I mean, so he was breadcrumbing her while he's dating me and devaluing her. And she's putting up with it because, you know, she's obviously emotionally dysregulated and disturbed. And taking advantage of this poor woman's mental illness. Okay, so I saw that, and that's not the kinds of man that I want to be associated with because it's very, very self-aggrandizing, totally selfish, all about him and his secondary gain for attention and narcissistic supply. So I ended it. I had everything written out, and I just told him I can't be associated with a man who conducts himself with a lack of moral compass to this degree. You did her a disservice. This poor woman is pining over you, and you're breadcrumbing her, and you're deceiving me by doing this all behind my back. So that was it. Oh, no, you know that I'm not interested in Mark. Then why didn't you just delete and block her when I gave you the heads up that I was asking you about? What are you doing on WhatsApp at 3 o'clock in the morning? I gave you a warning shot so you could clean up your shite. But you did not take the clue. You let me discover this. And I know that he thought I might because I looked through his phone and he actually deleted some of her lascivious messages to him. So clearly he thought I might find out, and he was testing me to see if I would still, you know, be so madly in love with him, which I'm not and never was, that I would still stay the course and put up with this. And the only reason I didn't leave him when he said that he was crying poverty and all of this, that, and the other, was because he was going to fix my dryer. So I was waiting for him to fix my dryer, which really would have been a fortune for me to have accomplished. I had already spent $300 on fixing this dryer, and this would have been another $400 to fix the dryer, and frankly I didn't want to spend another $400 to fix the dryer. Okay, so he fixes the dryer, and you know, the whole thing's a disaster. I discover this, you know, activity, and I made a decision, you know, that was it, because the one thing I'm not going to tolerate is cheating. Nah, that's a deal breaker. And it's a very sensitive issue for me because one of my marriages, you know, my husband was cheating, and I'm very sensitive to it, and he knew that. And hey, you know, he just thought I was going to tolerate it because he's just so wonderful. But the truth of the matter is he really hasn't been all that wonderful throughout the whole relationship. And I really wasn't happy except for 1 week. 1 week I had peace, everything was going good. But the rest of the weeks, it was always something. It was just always, it was one thing or another. A lot of it revolves around the communication. The sex, even though we were very attracted to each other, the sex was no good. He could not sustain an erection for more than 2 minutes. 2 minutes, ladies, 2 minutes. And why? I come to find out he has out of control sexual behavior and masturbates continuously, like for hours upon hours upon hours throughout the whole week. And that's why he can't leave the house and accomplish anything. He has some real estate apartments that he can rent in his own real estate houses, but he would rather stay home and masturbate and waste time in these whatever scenarios, pornographic scenarios, who knows what's going on there, because, you know, I don't know, I'm not there, thank God, and not take care of business. So, of course, you don't have enough money. You're not renting property that you could be renting. So here again, he had a $30,000 Jeep that he could have been selling also, but that was just sitting there idle. Why? Too busy masturbating. So what happened was excessive masturbation can desensitize your you-know-what, eggplant, shall we say, and then you can't function even with Viagra. So even with Viagra, it was 2 minutes and that was it. And then he would look at me like I'm some sort of sex worker, that now it's my job to get it going again. And I was like, why is it my job? Why can't you just get it going again? Why do I have this chore? So the sex became a chore. It's a shame because he's a great kisser. But it just like became like work. In fact, the whole relationship became like work. And I felt like, I have a second job now. And it's starting to really impact on my existence. It's like hindering me from achieving my goals in my billiard game. It's hindering me from seeing my friends. It was just becoming a hindrance. So when this shite hit the fan, I was like, good. I'm just getting rid of him. That's it. So of course, oh, please don't be like that. I'm not interested in Mark. Blah, blah, blah. But I just told him, I said, there's no coming back from this. This is irreparable damage. Please do not come by my house and stalk me because I don't want to have to obtain an order of protection against you. So please do not reach out to me because my feelings for you have changed. And then he said, I thought you were never going to leave me. And I said, what are you talking about? This is not unconditional. This is not unconditional. This is conditional. Okay? Never leave you. If you act like a human being, maybe I wouldn't. But if you're going to be a cheater, don't expect me to hang around. It's bad enough you're crying poverty. Now you're going to cheat on top of it? Or probably you wanted to spend, obviously, less money on me so you would have more money to spend on other narcissistic supply. But I saw it all. I saw it all. I said, look, I knew there was some emerging narcissistic traits, but the cheating was, of course, something I could not permit him to minimize in any way. And he ended up saying he was sorry. Actually, he was sorry he got caught. That's what he was really sorry about. And again, he didn't want to spend any more money on me. It was almost as if I had the impression, which my friends also agreed with me on, or they said it first, that he put a dollar amount on how much he wanted to spend on this relationship, and then it was like the end. That was it. He just wanted to reap the dividends. I don't know why men think that as the relationship progresses and you're having sex with them, that now they invest less. Why would they invest less if you're giving them more? No, you're giving them more. They need to invest more. That I'm giving you more, and now you're giving me less. That doesn't work for me. Okay. Let's get back to how I had sex with the Wigs. And let me tell you something. It wasn't easy. I mean, I don't know. First of all, I told him not to touch it. Eventually, he got that. After touching it like quite a few times. I only had sex with him 6 times in the 4 months because I was really like waiting. I was like, because actually things went better before I had the sex. So I was like not in such a hurry. So, that was the situation over there. I don't know what else to say except, yeah, my wig almost came flying off one time. That was interesting. And I just tried to secure it on my head as much as I could. Now, if you have bio hair, use a lot of bobby pins. A lot of bobby pins really helps. If you don't have bio hair, then you have to use everything you've got. Use crazy glue. No, I'm kidding. Use It Stays. Use a wig grip. Use tape, wig tape, toupee tape. Use whatever you can to keep that wig on. Tell the guy positions you don't like to do it in. Don't touch my hair. And then sleeping wasn't even bad because I had a satin pillow. And let me tell you, ladies, you must get a satin pillow. If you have a satin pillow, your hair will just slide right off and it'll be fine. And use an old wig, a wig that you don't give a shite about, and that'll be your bedroom wig. Or you have 2 bedroom wigs so you can alternate if you're having a lot of sex. I used Watch Me Wow. I wore Watch Me Wow. I didn't use it. And Watch Me Wow was a very good wig because it has silicone. It really hugs your head. It has silicone strips inside. And that particular wig was very good for sex. It really stayed on my head. So that's a very good wig. The Memory Cap 3 by Raquel Welch. Watch Me Wow. And I had mine in shaded vanilla. Definitely a very good sex wig. And not too long. Another one I wore was Caliente by Belle Tress, which is not too long. So that was good. It stayed on my head very good. And Bombshell Blondes. And I will be doing a review on Tea Rose in the new color, Cookies and Cream. So stay tuned because the bangs are too long and I have to show you what the bangs are like before I trim them. So adios, I am back and I will see you again in the next video.